So your first obvious question is that this looks way different than Fusion 360, and that's because it is different. It's SolidWorks. I'm in school right now, and I am pretty much exclusively using it, but the basic concepts that I'm going to show apply to both SolidWorks and Fusion. And this is just extra. It's like here, I think I'll list it like privately or something. But anyway, so in SolidWorks, I've placed an image. You can do the same thing in Fusion. I have a shape here, and this, um, it's close enough to put it. That is 10 millimeters tall. I was just guessing your keycap. Where is it? This guy. So your keycap up here looks to be about 10 millimeters at a guess, and I just guessed it, so I just did one dimension, 10 millimeters tall. And so in Fusion there's like a drawing tool that you can approximate a distance. The other suggestion is to take a picture more on top, or even better on bottom, because you can measure what it is. And then what you also need are digital calipers. So like something along these lines. Not this one though, because that one sucks. This is the one that I bought twice. As you can tell, I've bought this one twice. Um, but yeah, so you measure these things, and so that way, whenever you put in the image, you could measure this distance, and it would be whatever it is. But that's great. So all of these lines are construction lines. They're colored a little bit differently, different program. So then what we can do is, if you notice, this shape is, it's mirrored and it is sort of functional. So you can just go and draw a line there across and then press D for dimension, which I changed it. In SolidWorks, it's a different shortcut, but I changed it to the Fusion shortcut. And so you can see 4.2. It's 14.2, so we can round that to be 14, I'm sure. The thing about Chinese-made parts is that they're often going to be in millimeters, and it's going to be some standard size, so you can generally guess as to what it will be. And then this distance from here, which we need to keep in mind, oops, we need to keep in mind that that is, that, what am I doing? I haven't used this program in like a week. We need to keep in mind that this is at an angle, so it's actually a little bit shorter. But so that's saying 31, 32. So if we went something along the lines of, I don't know, 30, just as in the middle, which, by the way, center point, I'm going to go this way and do that, and then I'm going to dimension it to be 30. So that is 30 millimeters away. Now you notice that it's already coming up quite a bit off. Your part's at an angle, so I'm guessing at dimension and sizes. So even though I put this as 30, it might be technically something else. But that's something that we'll get there when we get there. The next step is that, do you see how this line is sort of floating out in space? That's not good. We don't want this to be floating out in space. So what we can do is select the center point and the origin. So very similar in Fusion, which I know that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, why are you doing this in a different program? Well, yeah, I am. But so I have just the 2 points selected, the center point and the center point of the line. And coincident in Fusion, it's going to be a little bit different name. It looks similar to that icon, but now these items are in black, and that means that they're fixed in place. In Fusion, it's a different color. I'm going to keep on mentioning that. So now we can draw a line out here. Oh, and by the way, this is a construction line. So press X. That's the Fusion shortcut. It's the one that I use all the time. It makes it a dashed construction line. So then we'll do something similar over here. So making sure that this line is horizontal, and if you didn't get that in Fusion, you'd want to make sure that it is exactly horizontal, because this part is exactly horizontal. And take a look at that. It's a round number, 30. So I'll go ahead and make it fully round. Then we'll make that, we'll make this line the construction line. And now you notice how the part here is not quite lining up. That's fine. Also, you notice how I'm only doing one side? That's because I'm going to be lazy and I will mirror this. But so first up, let's make, so this is a slot. So in software, they actually have slotting software where you can make a slot fairly easily. And then you take this, and that looks to be about the size. So, oh my goodness, cooperate. So we'd move this, or even better yet, we would press here. Oh, I get back into the sketch. We'd press here and here, make that coincident. Then we would move this around. I don't want to do that though, for reasons. I'll get back in there. Chain. That is one of the coolest features of this program, is selecting the chain. But anyway, so we're going to do some arcs, or even better, we'll do some circles. So circle here, and now before we do it, you can also do a circle directly on this part to see about what it is, and the radius is about 3. So 6. The radius and diameter are different. So now we can copy that circle, and we can get it to where it's about lined up and move it up. And so now these two are on the same line. Press D for distance. And yeah, so this is showing, like, it's showing a number that is relatively close to another number. So 7 millimeters. Important point, I'm working in millimeters because that always makes the most sense. So next we have a circle here, and notice how we're not doing what do you call it? Oh shoot, no. We are not doing forgetting my words. We're not actually making them like connected lines yet or anything like that. Like we're just doing the 2D sketch. We're going to be like fixing that in a minute. But we can start with this guy. Actually, no, we're going to start with this. So you notice how the circle for this ends in that point right there, and ends in this point. So that means that somewhere along here you have a sphere that ends right there. So I started a circle, and now this logically is going to go into here. But then it's going to become smaller, and that makes sense. So it would make sense that this circle and this circle, as in, looking at this side, this curve and this curve would be concentric. So in other words, this circle, I'll show you concentricity. So that circle and this one and this one, they're all related. And then this one over here is related to the slot, but it's related like these are related to those first, and then this is related to the slot. We can get rid of these, don't need them. Just illustrating the point. But this is sort of reverse engineering Chinese manufactured things. This is actually a really good example part to do this from. I've done something like this in my AutoCAD class like a dozen times or more so far. But anyway, so D for dimension, and you want to check this out. Okay. So here's the problem. It could be 19 millimeters. But they never make anything 19 millimeters. It's 20. Sorry, it's 20. There's no way. Oh, hey, look. Pause. I don't know if that paused or not. I think it did. Okay, anyway. So I know it's recording now. But okay, so in summary, let's see. We have enough information. Well, we'll have enough information in a second. Let me do a dimension here. So that's now this is dimensioning for the total length, not for the not for just the part. So we'll do 7 millimeters. No, 7 millimeters. This is a feature of SolidWorks that I think is really cool. So this is recognized as a center line, so the line around it. So it's dimensioning from there to there. If you were dimensioning same thing in Fusion, you'd do from here to here, and it would be 3.5. Yes. So okay, now I'll hide this son of a gun. Huh. Isn't it somewhere else? Oh my goodness. 1 second. Okay, I figured it out. I had to suppress this feature. Let's see. So we'll get it back by unsuppress. That's really dumb. In Fusion, it's easier. I had to do like a full Google search. Oh no, hey, angles, come back. We want straight. We don't want angles yet. Okay, so this is a gobbled mess. But we are almost done. Oh, right. Dimension U will equal this in SolidWorks. You have to press the equal sign and then click another dimension. In Fusion, you just click another dimension whenever you press D. So let's see. We'll delete this. You press. Seriously? I have to delete off. Whatever. Okay. So you press D for dimension. D for dimension. That's 6 millimeters. So then you press this one, and in Fusion, you just click that, and it will link them together. In SolidWorks, it doesn't. It just copies the number over, but I don't want that. I want it to equal this. So now it equals that. In Fusion, it automatically does the link. It's a little bit smarter. So this way, I go and I make this I. They both change. Great. Okay, next up, we need a distance. Oh no, distance is set. Okay. So funny story. Oh wow. Okay. Sorry. This is me like geeking out over like number stuff. So we have this distance at 7 millimeters, right? From here to here. This guy is 20 millimeters. This is 6. That is 6. So they perfectly meet up as tangency. Almost perfectly. Okay, nearly perfectly. Nearly. That just doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something about tea leaves. Anyway, okay, so next up, need to draw a line. And that line, doesn't matter where you put it. You can then select the circle and your line. And there's up here in Fusion, there's a button that says tangency, like tangency relation. And so just now, these two are now perfectly linked up. They're not linked up yet, but they touch, like in the most minute space. Ah, shoot, did that again. I'm so used to it working a little bit differently. I want this to be. I'm used to a different. I'm used to being able to pan with that button. Okay. Anyway, so now we need this point and this circle need to be coincident. So now You notice you can move that around, and it looks like the Star Wars thing. But this is what they're talking about when they say tangency. It's tangent. So this is the crazy magic that they're talking about. Like tangency, it's so easy. Tangency, tangency. And you're like, well, I don't know what tangency is. So, no. Like, just don't. Stop. Like, what? Okay. So then we are going to... One of the features is called trim. Another one. Oh yeah, a horizontal line, because we're making the slot. Again, there are other easier ways you can do this. Tangency. Also, to you and you, tangency. That's okay. It gets pissed off because it's already defined. I don't know if Fusion is going to get like that or not. Because technically they're the same size, so technically they're both tangent. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, coincidence. So now both of these are attached, and it's just like over here, and they're perfectly attached. So next, we need this line here. We need that line there. And there's a whole bunch of extra junk, like this thing. We don't need this box anymore. Goodbye, box. That's in the way. You, go away. I'm probably going to break something. Okay, fine, we'll move you over here. You and you, coincident. That doesn't matter. Ignore this. Maybe I can even delete that. I don't think it's going to care. Yeah, no, it doesn't care. It just knows that it's like attached to this, and it's freaked out that it's going to lose it. Anyway, it didn't change anything. So now we need to mirror. This is one of my favorite sketch features. Also in Fusion 360. Also. So mirror entities, and you want to mirror it about this guy. So maybe you'll need to select things. Oh, right. Also, we need this line. Yes. Great. Now, these are mirrored. And we're not done because we also need this side. And we need to trim some things away. So, done there. So, trim entities. Now, trimming, I don't remember exactly how it works in Fusion. But in this one, it is a relatively simple, like, dragging across. You can also do things where you select trimming tools, like where this, let's see. So we could trim, I don't understand any of these trimming things. The easiest one is the power trim, but pretty much where you would select this as a trimming tool and this as a trimming tool, and then it'll remove this whole line. But what it does is when it does the power one, right then it trimmed it using this line and that line, which close enough to what I wanted. Trim that. Then over here, trim these. Trim these. Great. So now what you have is a slot, and you have this. Oh, we need our other slot. Sketch. This is completely different than Fusion. So we have another slot here. And this is a certain distance away. Now there are many ways we could do this. We could do that whole thing again, or we can select everybody, and go to offset entities and make this something reasonable, like 3, 4, 3.5. So again, I don't have your sketch. I don't have your full thing. I don't have the part on hand. Otherwise, I'd be measuring all of these things. Okay, great. There we go. That's close. Go away because now we really don't need you. Suppress. Sketch. Sketch. Great. Okay. Now, so this line is in the exact middle of this, 14 millimeters across. This line is where we want it, but we don't actually need it yet. So you want in a moment. Now these guys, mirror entities again, because we've done all of this. Oh, Thank you so very much. Sorry. In SolidWorks, it's sometimes really weird. If you select something and it assumes what your center is, it just exits the thing when I need to mirror it about something. But it's just me to see. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. There we go. Mirror. Right. Done. Oh, hey. Also you. There's a similar menu in Fusion. But okay. It is mirrored. I have no clue what those lines are. Yeah, just ignore those points in the middle. But anyway, exit sketch. And as you'll notice, we have a part here that greatly resembles this guy. So it's not exact because I don't have your part on hand. I would be using calipers to measure it. And I would be starting from measurements like here. I do this measurement, I do that measurement. So then it's the stuff that you probably already know. Oh, this is where you'd, okay, I understand now. Okay, anyway, extrude boss base. I want it to be that surface. I don't want it to be all of those things. We want this and this. Oh, I'm gonna make an assumption. We'll do total distance. Looking at your image. Three? This is just guessing. Do 4. Okay. Okay, great. That's a guess. Only a guess. Then we need our slot. In Fusion, what you would do is you would unhide your previous sketch. And then you would select the items. Oops. I didn't fully do my job. Edit feature. You too. Thank you. Okay, great. Then, okay, so now I'm going to make a sketch on this surface. Sketch. And we can see this. So we'll select, not you, not you. Then, let's see, convert entities. In Fusion, it's P for project, because projecting is cool. Then again, convert entities for your surface. So we converted 2 separate entities. We converted the sketch entities. Oh, hey, also you guys. Well, we'll do that later. That's next step. You want to do as few steps in each thing as you can. So great. We have those shapes. We have these shapes. Those are confirmed projected, right? Convert entities. Oh, no, they're not. Solidworks and Fusion are different, so yeah. For entities, it's converted. Okay, exit sketch. Then now Fusion, you can just do extrude boss base and extrude, and you can also cut in that. Can't do that here. You, 2. Okay, cut in. Slide you. Oh, hey, actually come back. So you. All right, sketch up here. You and you convert entities. You and you. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to draw lines. Fusion doesn't care about that. You could just project these lines, and it's like, oh, look, a box. SolidWorks can be iffy. So then, boss base right here, and I can't tell from part, but I'm gonna guess 20 millimeters. That's educated guess. Then you have fillets. So select your shapes and F for fillet. Okay, fillet. F for fillet works in there. I might have changed the the shortcut key. 2 millimeters, that looks about right. And you now have your part. Oh no, you can see my name. I'm joking because I'm like I'm the one who's sharing this. But anyway, so yeah, you have your part, and that very closely matches. It might not be exact, but this is where calipers come in. You can also see this is an injection molded part. See those points there? So flat base. The body was the negative of this. Yeah, so that about does it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, sketching tutorial for Chinese-made products. Where's OBS? Here you are. Stop recording.